Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone to our September 21st Purchasing Committee. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Mr. David Gammon?
Here.
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 And I'm here. We have a quorum. Thank you, ma'am. Before we get into approval of the minutes, I'd like to just say, David, we're glad to have you back. Glad that your health is good. I know you got out of the hospital and went back home to heal and had to go back, but we're just so glad to see you back, and we were praying for you. So good. Now I'm sure they're ready to have you back at work, right? Still got to wait a little bit, but we're just so glad to see you. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from our August 31st. Commissioner Gooch.
I've reviewed the minutes and find everything to be in order. My motion is to approve.
Have a motion to accept the minutes. They're found in order. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Cook. Any questions, additions, or deletions? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Okay, members, our first, on new bids, our first agenda item is the fuel service with the Sheriff's Office. We have we mailed out 5 invitations, and we have 2 sealed bids that were received. First is from Rogers Petroleum Group. This is what we bid. Was 8,500 plus gallons. This is from the Rogers Group. What is their address? Rogers Petroleum is 120 Bridge Avenue, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Their cost, no lead, regular 87 octane was 2.25654. Second is number 2 diesel, low sulfur. Their bid is 2.34524. If we come in less than 8,500 gallons, cost for no lead regular 87 octane is 2.62734. Their bid on number 2 diesel low sulfur is 2.44604. They will allow other county departments to purchase from this bid. They appear to have the Title 6 assurance, our contract monitoring form compliance survey, and Iran Divestment Act certification. Okay. Next bid. Our second bid today is from TriStar Energy, LLC, Nashville, Tennessee. Item number 1 on 8,500 plus gallons. The no lead regular 87 octane, their bid is 2.4228. Their number 2 diesel low sulfur is 2.2484. Less than 8,500 gallons, no lead regular 87 octane, 2.4228. Number 2 diesel low sulfur, 2.2484. They will allow other county departments to purchase from the bid. They have filled out the Iran divestment, contract monitoring form, and certificate of discrimination, Title VI assurance. They're good. Okay. Comments, Preble? Commissioner Key?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. How long is this price good for? Was it stated?
They had a length of term on there. Let me see. I believe it says on here, Commissioner. Is anybody here from TriStar? I don't believe it says.
Rebel, I think we put it, I think it was in your bid for a 3-year plus.
It is, but I've seen it, because you don't know what's going to happen 3 years from now.
Right.
Most of the time, we do these yearly. If prices start going down, we work with them after the 12 months, and we renegotiate. So it never stays, where it is, just simple fact that it's gasoline.
Well, that was my concern. As it fluctuates, who takes the hit? If it does go up, who takes the hit?
Probably them, but if it
Yeah.
goes down in 12 months, we would have the opportunity to sit down with them. If it went back down, like when we rebid this the last time, we were at $1.89.
Yeah.
But we can't hold, even the contract can't hold them to that price when they're paying $2.69 and we're paying you know what I mean?
So it's somewhere in the language, it's set up to review for 1 year? Is that what we?
So,
It's a fluctuating,
we've got someone here from Rogers Group. Yes, sir.
I know this man too.
Okay.
it's a fluctuating, yeah.
Right.
Is-
Right.
Right.
I'm sorry, it's been a while since we've done one, but you're right. We always look at markup.
Yeah,
So if it's $1.89, they're going to charge us .032 cents
that's the rack rate.
markup. Sorry about that. We just did state bid last time, so
Yeah.
So we're understanding that this is current price.
if you go over that, you'll find where they're getting their current prices from. Is from all these little numbers in the back is where they're getting their current pricing from.
Okay.
Go back and look at the rack rate plus the percentage on the markup. Okay. Let's go back over these. Rogers, using Marathon Petroleum, looks like vendor cost is 2.4742. Markup is 0.05234. Same, no. Number 2, diesel low sulfur, vendor cost was 2.2929. Markup was the same of 0.05234. On less than 8,500 gallons, no lead, regular 87 octane, vendor cost was 2.4742, and markup is 0.15314. Low diesel, low sulfur, vendor cost 2.2929, and markup 0.15314. We go to TriStar. Vendor cost is 2.3908. Markup is 0.0320. Number 2, diesel low sulfur, 2.2030. Markup 0.0454. Less than 8,500, no lead, regular 87 octane is 2.3908. Markup is 0.0320. Number 2, diesel low sulfur, vendor cost 2.2030, and markup 0.0454. That's where your differences are. Members, comments? So they would deliver, either one, deliver in bulk to your tank, is that correct?
Yes.
What about other departments?
It would be landfill.
We've got those in this next bunch. They did them separately and also together, so.
I got you.
You noticed that
I've worked
that-
with both of these with us. They've both been good to us. They both have the fuel cards that's necessary for us to function if our pumps go down. What it's going to come down to is what markup you like better, which at this point, it would be TriStar, if you look at it. And again, I'm happy with both companies. I like TriStar. It's Nashville, it's local more so, but I've not had one bit of problem with Rogers delivering us fuel when we need it. And they come out of different areas, just like all fuel trucks do these days. They go everywhere. So what it's going to come down to is the markup price.
and it looks like both of them, any other group in Rutherford County can go off that bid from the
Right.
sheriff's office, but they've also bid it separately as well. And that's what we're getting ready to open next.
Commissioner McAdoo?
Can we have one of them primary and one secondary? Because I remember years ago, I think we had a primary and a secondary, because if one can't deliver for some reason, I think one year we may got hit with weather or something. I don't recall, but we can always go to the second bidder, you know, because
Well,
Rogers here is
The only
closer.
thing that's hard, number one, they don't miss deliveries. I've
Okay.
been there almost 5 years now. I've never known neither group, neither one of these people to miss deliveries. Not, if they did miss one, we had cards to go to either a Shell or a Marathon. If the pumps broke down, we went to Shell or Marathon, depending on which group we were using. So the backup's there for us to get gas.
I think technology's there now that we have the cards that.
It would be an invoice nightmare to do both.
Okay, so we do have a backup just going to a regular station, get the gas.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Mr. Key.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the tank that the county has is 8,500 gallons. Is that the,
That's an average for
Okay.
us. Yeah, it could go, we have a 12,000, but I'm giving y'all an average of what a fill-up is for us
okay, and how often do you expect that to be?
a week,
Once a week, okay. And it looks like the margin, we're only talking about a $250
once every 2
margin.
days.
It's very
Okay.
small in perspective there, but, so once a week, 8,500 gallons, and that's countywide?
Like 10 days.
Okay,
Once every 10
okay.
days. How's that? And that would depend summertime when the SROs are out, and we're down cars right now. So, you know, but let's just say once every 10 days.
Okay, okay. So then it does come down between the markup and the service. So it sounds like those are the issues.
We rarely use under 85, I'll tell you that.
Okay, very good.
Diesel might be our only other that would be below 85, unless the landfill now.
Landfill.
Yeah.
Yeah. But based on your previous comment, Preble, you've worked with both, had service, good service with both.
I'm not going to sit here and say, you know, that
So then it comes down to
we
your
like working with both. What it's going to come down to, the markup. If that's the
Markup price.
case, then it's going to be TriStar.
like markup, best markup price was with TriStar.
Mr. Chair, just for clarification, I may be reading this wrong, but on the Rogers Petroleum, it looks like the vendor cost is more than the county cost by 22 cents. Is that,
That can change next week, and I'm still looking at markup price, like he said.
well, in this scenario,
I noticed that
yeah.
too. Can you explain that? It says your vendor cost is $247, but your county cost would be $225? This is Rogers. Oh. I understand. I just told him I thought they were inadvertent.
I think it's a typo, looks like. Okay, I'll move that we accept TriStar.
That motion. And a second. Any further discussion? Second, Rodkey. Clerk, if you would, please call the roll.
Commissioner Cook? Yes. Commissioner David Gammon?
Yes.
Commissioner Gooch?
Yes.
Commissioner McAdoo? Commissioner Key?
Yes,
Commissioner Buchanan?
Yes.
Mayor Ketron?
Real quick, can I have a minute?
Yes, ma'am.
Sergeant Casey McClure.
Hi,
He's
Sergeant.
taking over our fleet management, and that will include some car repairs and things like that on site. So I don't want y'all to meet him, because at one point, you're not going to see me again. So
This is the one and
probably going to
only.
be seeing him a little more than most, or when we start bidding out certain things. So he's a lot taller than I am. And, but anyway, I wanted to introduce him, but y'all will be seeing him a little.
All right. Well, welcome. Glad to have you. You can come, Sergeant, you can come back with Preble anytime. Okay, next we have fuel service for Rutherford County. We have 5 mailed invitations, and we have 3 sealed bids. Okay, this is, first one is from Rogers Petroleum. I'm gonna read all 3, that way we don't have to go back, okay? 8,500 plus gallons on no lead, regular 87 octane. Vendor cost is $2.47 .0242. Markup was .05234. County cost is 2.52654. Number 2 diesel, low sulfur, is 2.2929. Markup was 0.05234. County cost is 2.34524. Less than 8,500 gallons, no lead, regular 87 octane. Vendor cost is 2.4742. Markup is 0.15314. County cost 2.62734. Number 2 diesel, low sulfur, vendor cost is 2.2929. Markup 0.15314. And county cost is 2.44604. And they allow other county departments to purchase from this bid as well. All their documentation is in order. Next bid. Next is from TriStar, Nashville, Tennessee. $8,500 plus gallons, no lead, regular 87 octane. Vendor cost is 2.3908. Markup is 0.0320. County cost is 2.4228. Number 2 diesel, low sulfur, vendor cost is 2.2030. Markup is 0.0454. County cost is 2.2484. Less than 8,500 gallons. No lead, regular 87 octane. Vendor cost is 2.3908. Markup is 0.0320. County cost is 2.4228. Number 2 diesel, low sulfur, vendor cost 2.2030. Markup 0.0454. County cost 2.2484. Other county departments can purchase from bid.
Could you repeat, Mr. Chairman, the markup for the from TriStar with the unleaded 87 octane over 8,500 gallons?
Over 8,500, no lead, regular 87 octane. Vendor cost was 2.3908. Markup was 0.0320. Anything else? They appear to have all their documentation in order. WEX, W-E-X Bank. WEX Bank, B-A-N-K. Their address is, this says Sandy, Utah. Outside address was different. WEX representative here, I would assume? Okay, she's here. So are you from Utah or are you from Maine? You're from Nashville? Gotcha. Okay. All right. First is the Enterprise Fleet Management ExxonMobil Fleet National Card from West Bank. Looks like you're based out of Utah. Okay. Large company, I guess.
Mayor, they are just a little bit different at WEX. This is more of a card. This is not fuel itself as far as delivery, correct? So I don't know, you may want to suspend the rules and allow them to speak, but this is a card use.
This appears to be different. It's different than the last two that we have looked at. I'll entertain a motion to allow a representative from West WEX Bank to come forward and explain their system and how it works. Is there a motion?
Can I ask a quick question? So in the bid specs, was part of it a card?
That's what I'm
Did we bid that
hoping.
in the
What I'm
bid?
hoping
In
she'll
the
be
bid
able to-
specs, did we bid out a card?
Yeah, there was two separate.
For the record, just identify yourself.
I'm Katie.
Turn around and talk in the microphone.
Okay. I'm Katie Swordfigger. I am with WEX Bank. I represent this particular fuel card program is with Enterprise Fleet Management, and we also represent ExxonMobil. So our card is, we don't deliver fuel. Our card is more of a convenience factor for the fleet, all fleet vehicles around Rutherford County. We do a rebate system on the fuel, so it's not a cost plus, whereas with cost plus, you really never know what your discount's going to be because it fluctuates on a daily basis. It's hard to calculate. With our program, they can use our fuel card at any, 99% of gas stations, which we attached a list of all gas stations in Rutherford County, which is going to give, I think today, from what I remember 2 years ago, I think there was only 4 locations that they could use the fuel card at with D&D oil. And so actually I met with Mayor Ketron 2 years ago, and I think he's kind of familiar with WEX as far as he has used it before with government. We are a national, we're like the #1 national card provider for government. We do offer, with this particular program, rebates would be 5 cents per gallon at ExxonMobil, and then we have a total volume rebate coming from Enterprise Fleet Management. Mr. McClure might know or work with them. I'm not sure, with Enterprise. So a lot of the vehicles for the Sheriff's Department are currently, and I think other departments in Rutherford County are currently being managed by Enterprise, so they're being cycled. This program coincides with that program, so it talks to each other. This fuel card is going to provide the discounts, and then Enterprise is giving 60 basis points, and that's half their revenue share. So overall, the savings would be, it's 1.6% at 30,000 gallons a month. So I averaged, the last time I got a transaction report, it was about 25,000 gallons, and that did not include the on-site fuel. So 25,000 gallons, but a lot of the problem I think they were having is they were having to go out of their way to get fuel, where our program provides them access to all gas stations, and you're getting a discount. We do have a rewards program as well with ExxonMobil, where they can use the county card, the gas card, they get rewards back, and they can use that for personal use. Now, a lot of people have questions about cards and restrictions. Our card is extremely, you can restrict it to if you want them to only purchase fuel from 9 a.m. to 12, or 5 p.m. on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, you can lock it down to just those parameters. You can lock down, you put in a tank capacity, so there you get an alert if it goes outside of those parameters, and an email to the fleet manager. Whoever I'm assuming, ambulance, and they would all be separate probably as far as billing. And they would probably each have their own, and we can set up hierarchies based on each department in Rutherford County. So billing is a lot of different, we can pretty much do anything. With billing, so we usually do the monthly bill, net 22 is our terms. That obviously can be changed if there's some other, I think we put that in the proposal. If you guys have some other, it says Payment Act. I'm not sure what that is exactly, but the other benefit, I guess, besides savings and convenience for Rutherford County is going to be basically that each fleet manager would have access to the website. Our website is robust, and that's where you're going to really see the benefits of the program. You can see transactions live. You don't have to wait for invoices. You can add drivers. You don't have to call in. You don't have to call in to order a card either. You can order a card online and have it shipped overnight and to the address you want it to go to. So it's very detailed. As far as parameters, each department can have separate parameters. Each card could have separate parameters. But typically how we set it up would be the card is tied to the vehicle, and then each person has their own individual ID number that they enter at the pump. That way you can track, and then we also have them put in an odometer. So you'd be able to track the vehicle, the miles per gallon, and the person who used the card. Most of the time the card stays in the vehicle, and if they interchange vehicles, then you're still going to know who used that card, because they would have their own PIN number, and each PIN number works with any of the cards. So it's I think Mayor Ketron has some familiarity with WEX before. So is there any questions about?
Mr. Chairman, I was going to ask how many other municipalities or counties are you working with now of this sort as far as numbers?
Numbers, we have a map, I think that's in the proposal.
Is that in your proposal?
We have the entire state of, I think we have over 30 states in the United States where we work with the state government. They mandate the fuel card. I'm not sure if I have that list.
On that map, it has the grade areas for the states, but it don't have a key to it to explain what the gray areas are.
Oh, it doesn't? Okay. See, so I didn't put all of this together. I put the pricing together. Let me see, because I don't have that with me.
What tab is that under?
Tab 1. It's in tab 1.
Can't find mine.
I flipped it over.
Gray, 3. The gray is where we do not have state contracts. We don't have the state of Tennessee, but.
So how do they handle it if they're at the pump getting ready to use your card and they can't get it to work? I mean, what is the repercussion?
Yeah,
Could you come back over to the mic?
okay, that's all right.
I feel like I'm loud enough for everybody to hear.
Yeah, people go back and watch our meetings.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry about that. So if they have an issue at the pump, the fleet manager has access to log in online, like usually they would call their person, whoever that person would be, say, hey, my card's not working, and 9 times out of 10, they're putting in the wrong driver ID number. And the fleet manager can see that online, so they don't have to call into customer service to find out why their card's not working. They can actually see that. And we would do training with each department, whoever is going to be, administering the cards. We would be able to do the online training with them individually.
So if the card is lost or stolen, it'll be easy to identify the card and deactivate it, or?
Yes, so you can deactivate or suspend cards in real time without calling in to customer support, which a lot of our competitors, you sit on hold for 30 minutes to talk to a person, where you can basically go on there. If you suspend it, you can reactivate it. So let's just say somebody goes on leave and you just want to suspend their card for 12 weeks, let's say. Then when they come back, you can reactivate it. Or if you terminate, it's real time. It's dead forever.
And so the program that they're looking at, the fleet manager, in other words, let's say someone takes a card to fill up their personal vehicle. I guess there's some red flags that would go up on that the fleet manager will be able to look at to see, hey, they're spending more gas than they should or something.
Right, yeah. So our normal limits are 3 transactions per day. You can lower that, you can increase that, you can put in the tank capacity and flag it. So you would actually be emailed when one of your cards is over tank capacity. And then you would be able to know what card it was. So it makes it easy to manage the fleet.
And could you adjust those, like if fire or police, they needed fill up that tanker 4 times, or that ambulance 4 times because they're making a lot of runs or whatever, we could adjust those. But that's your standard at 3.
Yeah, we call those authorization profiles, and each department, we would probably have you guys set up as the fire department would be a separate department, ambulance, or however you guys want to set that up, we can. But each, you can go in granularly to specific cards and set up profiles for those cards if you need those cards to purchase 300 gallons versus 50, so.
What's your normal setup time if we gave you the green light as far as setting up all the departments with cards and everything?
So setup time, from the time I would need fleet data, of course, and driver data to get started. But from the time I get that, we would probably get cards to you within 2 weeks.
Okay.
I'd like to hear, since we have the rules suspended, I'd like to hear from Scotty, next to the Sheriff's Department. Scotty, you all at EMS probably use more fuel than any other department, right, Carl? Scotty, in your mind, as you're thinking of a new way of doing things, you want to come on up and if you've had thoughts of what could complicate things. You need to speak to Mike.
3 times a day wouldn't be enough for us on a lot of occasions. We would need more. It would just be a trial and error thing, to start out with to see how it works out.
But in your mind, nothing comes to, in your mind of this might be complicated?
I think it would be, but like I said, once we get it started, if we went with this, it would take a little while to get it started because we don't, like on our fuel cards, we don't use employees' names. We use our state ID numbers on our ambulances. So that's their PIN number is how we work that out. So, but that, and we track it that way by the state ID number on the ambulances. Thought about it, really, to be honest, but.
So from the get-go, up to how you have it today, if you want to keep it the same.
Yeah.
But we can print the state ID on the cards.
Director Hutchins, he'd like to speak.
Is this only for Exxon stations? Any gas station?
Any.
What I'm thinking about is the convenience for the ambulances, because we go to Nashville a lot, and sometimes that puts us out of service because we're having to come back and go to a certain spot here in town to get our fuel. We could actually get back in service a lot quicker.
Sure.
I think there's a lot of advantages to this personally, from what I'm hearing.
Well, I would like to maybe take this under advisement and give it some additional thought.
Would it be,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think we're comparing apples to apples. Apples to oranges here. We're almost getting too far ahead. We've awarded a bid, and they said that in the TriStar, and both of these bids came in to fill the tanks, correct? I'm not doubting the concept. It sounds great, but it sounds like we need to do some research, or it comes in as a presentation where we can really study this. I don't feel comfortable just going with this tonight without really digging in to see the savings, to see what's available. The idea is great. I love the convenience. But we've already awarded for the Sheriff's Department, and these bids also say that they will allow other county departments to purchase from this bid. So we have that availability already. Do we confuse the issue if we do something else with this other one now? It seems like we need to finish out the bid.
There were 2 separate bids, Commissioner.
Okay.
For 2 different departments. Really, it was for the Sheriff's Department. What we did is we came in on the Sheriff's Department bid to try to see if we got a better deal.
But don't they allow other counties to use their bid?
They will let other departments use that bid.
Right.
True.
So that could go up under that one as well.
It could.
Okay. But this is a whole new concept is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it is a different concept, but
Where can they fuel with Rogers? Does Rogers have a card they can fuel anywhere?
But I don't think that that's the question that we need to field right now. We're in information gathering.
okay, hang on. We got everybody speaking and nobody on record, and come back up here, Scotty, the microphone.
I don't know, I didn't see what state y'all cover, but like when we go pick up ambulances or whatever, and I don't know how the Sheriff's Department do when they go pick up prisoners in different states, they're limited right now on what states they have. Where the cards we have now, we know pretty much where we can go in every state to get fuel.
But whereas just peeling off and going to get gas, you have to plot out.
kind of pre-plan a little bit.
Yeah. Whereas-
I will say you don't have to do that with WEX. We have a bigger
Where-
acceptance network
Whereas
than Fuel Man.
this gentleman back here said Fuel Man.
Yeah.
I used to, when I had my convenience store, I had Fuel Man.
Yeah.
But not everybody has Fuel Man. Director Hudgens asked if we could possibly take it under advisement. He would like to possibly explore letting just the ambulance use this as a pilot.
Mr. Chairman, my question is, when we sent this out to bid, was a card part of the bid proposal? Or was it just for gallons?
Yeah, Preble's going to answer that question. I'm going to, let's see what she says, and then I'll say.
And the reason I'm asking is because for legality reasons, legal reasons, we couldn't vote on a card if the bid did not specifically say.
I wrote it. There's a two-part bid. One was bulk delivery, which is for us. We included the county to see if it would work on fuel cards. So there is one for fuel cards, one for bulk delivery fuel. Mac and them can use my bulk delivery. We have cards, but it's going to be based off of TriStar's rates for our cards, okay? But I wrote it separately, and I explained in the bid that, hey, if y'all can, come together and work with a fuel card and bulk delivery, then we would consider that. But we didn't have to. The fuel cards could be separate, and our bulk delivery could be separate. Because I told them I didn't think that would work with the way we use cards versus the way the county fleet uses cards.
And even in our solid waste department, at the landfill itself, we do have a tank there, but that's not the bulk of where we're doing most of the diesel. They're going actually through the pump, Memorial, wherever, it takes Fuel Man, or where D&D's at, or Rogers now. I'll get y'all right in a minute. But that's where they're going through, and they're going through with a card and getting
two
fuel.
separate.
And so Lisa Nolan, the county department, is familiar with cards and how billing and so forth and so on.
Yes, the other departments like building codes, property assessor's office, all of them are using cards to get fuel.
Yeah, the Correctional Work Center.
And for the SO, you still want your bulk.
We do, because we have a gas delivery system there. So
And no matter what, you wanna maintain
99% of
that.
our gas comes from we hold 12,000 gallons,
Okay?
12.5, something like that.
So regardless if we went with another card program, you want to keep that bulk full?
It's, that's why I didn't want to, that's why I wrote two separate with the specification that, hey, if y'all want to bid on both, you can, or you could just bid on one.
Okay, so it appears, Commissioner Gooch, that it was included in the bid specs, right?
Okay, thank you, I think that it was too. It's kind of hard to compare gallons to all this information with discounts and rebates and so forth and so on. I think we've received a bid and we've got a motion already passed on the sheriff's office. I think if we move to the general Rutherford County, that it may need that we need to delay it or take it under advisement so that people can look and compare them. I don't know if I can compare this to, like you said, apples to oranges in one evening. Would that be a recommended motion?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll move that we take under advisement these three companies and their proposal and come back at our next meeting.
Okay.
Second.
Got a second. Any further discussion? Commissioner Gammon.
I just want to make sure that Rogers was making a comment, but they weren't recognized, but I want to make sure that they didn't have any comments they wanted to make.
Yes, sir, you want to come up? I think you were making the comment that the card could be used at any Fuel Man location, is that correct? Okay, go ahead. Identify yourself for the record, please, sir.
I'm Victor Tigg with Rogers Petroleum. The difference, those cards can be used at any Fuel Man location. The difference with the bid and it's more of a price thing. You're getting a daily price based on the market if you're using the card, the D&D card system. That's their system. You're going to pay the retail price plus the one, you may get the 1% discount. So if you're looking at cost, that's going to be your biggest difference, is the retail price versus the daily price on the market.
You got to come back up and talk.
File that for you.
Go ahead.
No fees. Our card proposes no fees. We actually have a larger acceptance network than Fuelman, and then we do net federal and state taxes. So that, when your invoice is received.
Okay. Any other comments?
Do we already use your card? Okay, now is that part of your bid? Okay, I think this is why we need to take an advisement. There's no way we can do this tonight.
That's,
How many locations does it, so it's all Fuelman locations? So would it be retail price?
We provided a list for
okay. Okay. Commissioner McAdoo.
Oh, thank you. Since she presented the card system, can all three of these companies present their card system information? In other words, the layout like she got it? She got a package here showing the states and all that good stuff and everything. Can we get a more detailed presentation? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I would like to go with the motion that's before us, that we take it under advisement and let us kind of look at this, because this is a new concept that we're looking at.
And I would
Veronica?
say that I said the next meeting, but if we need more time
Yes,
to
sir.
look at everything, then
Yes, sir.
whenever.
Okay.
Can I just make, sorry, I wanted to say, I would like to do a online tutorial presentation so you can see the card functionality from that point, because I'm not sure what their functionality is online, but it would be good to compare. Yeah, it would be good to compare.
Okay. All right. We'll bring you back to town.
Let's give all three of the companies
Yes, sir.
a chance to make a presentation on card use.
Okay. All right. Commissioner, you good? All right. Anybody else good? All right. We have a motion before us to take it under advisement, and we'll report back. And I believe included in that motion, will you accept that, Commissioner Gooch, what Commissioner McAdoo said, that all three come back and make a presentation at our next called meeting? Is that good? Everybody understand the motion as accepted? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Thank you so much for getting us all confused, and we'll move on. Okay, uniforms. We have, for EMS, we have 4 invitations that were mailed and 2 sealed bids received.
Mine's not near as bad as what that one was before.
Thank you all for coming and making a presentation. Well, this is from Dorrell Specialties out of Antioch, Tennessee, on EMS. I'm not going to go through each one of them. From the T-shirts down to, I'm not going to read each one of those, but their total price, as what was requested in your bid, was $39,164. Okay.
Thank you.
Next bid. This is from This is from CMS Uniforms, Nashville, Tennessee. There's going to be things in here that I would say, Keith, that it's not, yeah, line item by line item, would it be? Okay, but some things they probably didn't bid on, right? I've seen that in the past.
I don't think that the first one bid on.
Okay.
Took some numbers and just plugged them in, like he took an estimate of 150 jackets and just plugged them into this price just to give you a ballpark
Okay.
figure at the bottom.
So he gave us a, and
Yeah,
his next bid, they didn't even bid on the Augusta Navy t-shirt, so I think this is going to take a little time for you to grid it out. I would recommend, I mean, the difference, there's different prices between male and female on shirts and pants, et cetera. I'd entertain a motion to let Keith take this under advisement and report back to us. Got a motion?
Second.
Commissioner McAdoo and second by Commissioner Buchanan. Any further discussion on these? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Keith. You got both bids, Keith? All right, next we have Type 3 remount EMS. I knew we'd get you sooner or later, Scotty. We had seven invitations mailed, and we had one sealed bid that was received. Must be a supply chain thing. Everybody's blaming it on COVID, right? All right, this one bid that we received is from
Select Tech over in Shelbyville.
This is the one bid that we received is from Select Tech in Shelbyville, Tennessee. And we have currently been doing business with them, Scotty, for a number of years, correct?
Yes, sir, as long as I've been here.
Okay. They've always been good to work with. It appears that they do a pretty good job. It appears all their requirements of forms are in compliance. Any comments, Scotty?
What this is, when I came up before and we did the remounts, I told y'all I wanted to rebid it because I was $2,700 over my budget. So when I sent these out, the difference in the two trucks, so this is for an E350 chassis. The other one is for an E450 chassis, which is a different size truck. And the other truck will have an extended cab. The other bid will be for an E450 with an extended cab. So that's what I was wanting to do for both of them. So I rebid it so we could look at both of them. So they bid $91,390 on this E350. So when I see what the other bid is, if I'm under what I need to be, I'll decide how I'm going to accept it. But as of this $91,390, I'm okay with that. If the other bid comes in, I know it should be a little higher, but if I'm still under budget, I may do one of each. If not, I would drop back to this E350 and do two of them. So whatever this next one.
Your recommendation?
I recommend we'll accept this one.
To accept this?
Yes, sir.
All right.
and then see what the other comes.
All right, members?
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Yes.
Is this the bid he's talking about?
Yes.
So it's 94,890 or the 91?
Net price is specified to be 91,390 on this one.
Okay.
So this, what it's showing, I'm assuming.
Scotty, give us a clarification on what other bid are you discussing? Okay.
You got another one in there? Oh, well, maybe they got them both in here. Okay, they're both in here then.
Yeah, we got a 91 and a 94. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I didn't see that. I thought they would be separate.
Commissioner Buchanan's just got to keep it
all right,
straight.
all right, so the E350, I got you. I see it now. All right, yeah. I missed yours. So, all right, so 94,890. I say let's accept both of them. I'll do one of each. That'll leave me with $756. So
your recommendation?
recommendation to accept
Both.
as a bid, one of each.
One of each.
One each.
A 350 and a
Yes,
450.
a 350 and a 450.
All right, does everybody understand the recommendation? For a motion.
So moved.
Have a motion from Commissioner Gammon. That's second, Commissioner Cook. Further discussion or questions? Call the roll, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Cook? Yes. Commissioner David Gammon?
Yes.
Commissioner Gooch?
Yes.
Commissioner McAdoo? Commissioner Key?
Yes.
Commissioner Buchanan?
Yes.
Mayor Ketchern.
Aye.
I was expecting it to be two separate bids. I didn't know they combined. So,
Just call them on your way back home. Do share one time.
okay. Biggest problem this year, even on the other ambulances we've already approved, is going to be getting chassis. So,
Yes.
I'm looking at, it could be 12 to 18 months before we get anything. But there's, their hands are kind of tied on that.
Sure.
They just have to, whenever they can get the chassis in to get them built. So,
Okay. Thank you, Scotty. Yes, sir. Thank you.
thank y'all.
All right. Move on. Last but not least, we have inventory property disposal. Sheriff's Office, Major Spence, we kept you waiting for such a long time. You're recognized.
Yep, I'm here to ask to retire a 6.5-year-old canine. The handler, Massey, resigned, and this dog is high-strung, temperament, and we're asking to retire it and reward it to Deputy Massey.
Well, I guess we do consider it disposal of property, but I kind of like,
Retirement, we just use that form.
I like to say,
So moved.
I think it's great that she's given service for all these years. And wouldn't want to see anything else happen to her, but go home with her handler, right? Got a motion and a second. Second, Commissioner Key.
Just a question. What's the procedure for that? Is that a ceremony?
No, sir.
Okay.
And he pays $3 to the county for the dog and takes responsibility for any medical bills or so
Okay.
forth. He just,
So it's not a public event? or-
no, sir.
Very good. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir, he is. We had a guy that was out on Shovel Highway that had a gun to himself. This dog saved this person from hurting themselves. He's a real good dog, but only one handler can handle him.
Well, have you got another one coming on
Not yet.
for a replacement? Still looking. They've gotten expensive. They're,
About $12,000.
that's what I was going to say. They used to be about 8, now they're about 12.
We're looking at the ability, because dogs can alert on hemp now, so we got to get a dog that doesn't alert on marijuana. We got to get that out of the new dog we get.
There was a guy, a couple of years ago, but there was a guy who retired from Memphis Police Department and was training down in Jackson, Tennessee. I didn't know if y'all ever come across.
We usually get ours from Florida. There's
Okay.
a company down there. The handler goes down there with them, and they work with the dog for 4 or 5 weeks.
Oh, okay.
To get
You yes. I understand.
Personality's got to match.
Yeah, you don't want them biting the handler. I understand. We've got a motion and a second, and we'd like to honor her for her service, so, by giving her to her owner, her new owner, right? Okay.
Thank you all.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Major.
Have a good night.
Thank you, Major. Anything else to come before us tonight? Next meeting is when? We will let you know when the next meeting is. Anything else to come before the body tonight? Seeing none, we'll stand in adjournment.